Hello everyone, we are students of NEETI currently studying in the IM 19 batch. We are here to discuss the principle of management subject taught to us by Dr. T. Prasad, popularly known as Dr. Mandi. So Aditya, do you remember our first lecture of Dr. Mandi?
I vividly remember it. Before the lecture, I thought it would be some boring lectures with a lot of concept, lot of theory, without any practical applications, and just blabbered out through those 2 hours. But after the lecture, I had been inspired by Dr. Mandi. He inspired us by showing us the video of Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall.
Yeah, I also remember that video. It was very interesting video. He taught us that we should not be another brick in the wall, but be different from others. We should have our own thinking and we should follow our path which we want to choose.
Exactly. And he's taught us that he, he told us the very first concept of how he started Mandi, of Socho, Becho, Sikho.
Yes, exactly. The popular concept of Dr. Mandi, which every student of NEETI knows. Socho, Becho, and Sikho. But then in the second lecture, he taught some basics by using the examples from previous classes. For example, the theory X and theory Y concepts. Do you remember that?
Exactly. He taught us that there can be two cases, two extreme cases of theory X manager and theory Y manager. And it is important to know that these theory of motivation are for managers. So, I think you would like to tell us what is theory X manager?
Yeah, exactly. I remember that he taught us that theory X managers think that workers are lazy and they don't want to work. They are not eager to work themselves and therefore they are to be punished or forced to work. Theory X, there were two cases. One, when the manager thinks that the workers are lazy and the workers are actually lazy. But the other situation is when workers are not lazy and even though the manager thinks that the workers are lazy. So therefore what happens in one case when the workers are really lazy is that they are not even working and the manager is not also helping them out. So therefore they don't overcome that situation. They have no motivation from the managers which a good manager should provide them. In other case when the workers are doing good work but then also if the manager thinks that they are lazy and they are not doing good work, then what happens is that their efficiency decreases because they don't think that a manager had trust in them. So therefore, we should try to avoid these circumstances.
Exactly. The other case is theory Y manager. What theory Y manager believes is that he has a very optimistic view of his workers. He believes that all his workers are very motivated and they have a drive to work to achieve the excellence in their work. So it happens such like that there can be two cases in that also, that workers are lazy, but the manager thinks that his workers are very motivated and self-driven. So he, in spite of the workers being lazy, he provides them with the opportunities. He motivates them to perform with excellence so that they bring out the best in the performance. And the second case where the workers are actually self-motivated, there becomes a very good harmonious environment where both of these mutual positive thinking helps us to bring excellence in our work.
Yes, and in the next class, after focusing on theory X and theory Y, we shifted to the tower building exercise. In this, he used the tower building exercise in which the person was selected to build a tower using some small cubes. And from this, he explained the concept of team working, and then
Goals.
how you can set your goals and reach them.
Exactly.
I think you will be remembering that.
Exactly, it was a wonderful exercise that a person, one of our friends was selected to build the exercise, and we all were asked that individually asked that what exactly we think that the number of the height of the tower with the number of cubes that he can build up. We came up with random numbers, lot of
Yeah, I
people,
also remember I said some numbers like 25.
25, and people came up with like 10, 8 minimalist figures with the average of the class coming up with figures of around 16, 17.
Yes, exactly. And then when he started to build it, he reached 13, 14, and 15, and everyone thought that now the tower is going to fall. But then the person was really motivated, and then he saw that everyone is watching him.
Yes.
So therefore, he was more motivated, and he tried to build the maximum he can. And I remember that he reached till 19.
Till 19, and that was a very optimistic figure. He himself gave a figure of 10. That was the workers' estimation of his work, as well as the managers. That as managers we gave him an estimate of around 16 cubes, and he surpassed even that.
Yes, exactly. And then afterwards, when we were asked what should be the number when the person is blinded and he is trying to build a tower, so most of the class, except leaving one or two, everyone decreased their numbers, which Dr. Mandi told that is not correct, because a manager should always try to exceed his expectations, and he should always try to maximize whatever he can get from the available resources.
Exactly, and there comes the vision, mission of a company, of an organization. That the vision should be, it can be an unachievable thing, but that is where we dream of to achieve our existing performance, to make it, to bring up to that level of performance that surpasses all previous records of excellence.
Yes, and then afterwards we move on to the next class, in which we were taught about the valley crossing exercise.
Exactly.
Yes, I think you'll be remembering that exercise also, because we were all there and it was such a good class. It was such an interactive class that everyone participated and we saw the whole exercise in front of our eyes. He asked three students from our class to go there and take a log of wood, and then he showed us like such this kind of wood, and then the three students were
Yeah.
asked to move in a team, and therefore they moved and they started moving with good coordination. And there
Yeah.
was a valley in between them.
So they move with one step ahead, so that the first worker comes into a dangerous position where he isn't supported, but that he is supported by his previous two members. And then with his support, he can go to cross the valley where he is in the hanging position, but supported by his previous two members.
Yes, and after the first person crosses, the second person who is behind him moves forward. And when the first person is safe, the second person, which is in this case I'm half safe and half unsafe. Then the third person who is behind me comes and he also supports me. So therefore, one by one, we all three crosses it. This was a very interactive exercise and it taught us the power of team building and coordination.
Exactly. They in a team, the teamwork brings about where there is a coordination in these roles. The roles are well defined. The communication is set up between the team members so that the effective output can be achieved through this wholesome exercise of teamwork.
Exactly. Using just a single log, we are able to cross a valley. So therefore, this shows how we can optimize our resources and we can get the maximum efficiency and maximum output.
Exactly. And here in this exercise, first the gap of the value was set, but it was further judged upon that if that is increased, we can still achieve by with the help of 3% itself, but increasing the utilization of our resources, getting more resources, like the increasing the length of the log.
Yes.
So let's
And
move
now
on to the
we move to the next exercise,
Yeah.
which was the class in which he showed the three monks video. This video is a Chinese video and it was actually made by the purpose of team building, and then from the point of view of that how each and every person can coordinate with each other and reach the maximum productivity.
Exactly.
And there we saw the video that started with a single monk, which I think you'll remember more.
Exactly. The single there was one monk who had to fulfill his quench his thirst. So he went around the whole valley with a log carrying two pots, and he filled up the water by himself and carried those two pots back to the monastery. And then he himself quenched his thirst by drinking that water.
Yes, that those two buckets of water was enough for his need of drinking and then his need of other things. And these two buckets of water were enough to fulfill all his needs.
All his needs. Then came the second monk, and there was a very harmonious, cordial interaction with them. But the problem started creeping up when the distribution of the job of bringing up the water came up. So they had a developed method that alternately they will go.
Yes, and after these some days, they decided that both of them will go together by having one bucket, and then they will come back again. They will go and bring one more bucket. But then in both these situations, what we saw is that in the first case, the productivity was low because these people had to put more effort. But in second case, the effort put by them was a bit lower.
But reduced. Exactly. But the problem still had with the coordination of the team members because the roles weren't well defined. The one of the members that had to go down the whole length was more tired, and so that's why he drank more water. While the other person thought that he also equally participated, but he is getting less water.
Yes, and then afterwards, the third monk also came and joined them. And after this, the situation became even worse. What happened was that the third monk drank most of the water which he brought, and therefore it was not good for the team as a whole. They had to bring one bucket of water each. But then when the third monk brought the bucket of water, he drank it himself. So therefore, the team was not satisfied. They thought that whatever he's drinking is not being utilized by the other two. So they didn't even cooperate with them.
Yeah, so that's why a situation of adversity when came up that the monastery was set on fire, that inspired them to come up with an innovative idea. That is, all three participated in a very coordinated manner. That they had distributed the length equally, and then with the help of they were very swift in the action and equally distributed with equal motivation. One monk down brought the water down from the river. The second monk carried it to the third monk, and third monk went up to the monastery so that he can put off the fire.
Yes. So we saw here that in a situation of emergency, the productivity was maximum. But then we have, as managers, what Dr. Mandi told us was that we have to learn to bring this kind of productivity in every situation of life, in every circumstance. We have to show this kind of efficiency and this kind of teamwork and coordination.
Exactly. So apart from this, Dr. Mandi has told us to not limit our learnings to this classroom, but to take it to the outside world. So we've written blogs on all our learnings that we have learned from all the lectures, all these interactive activities that has taken place in our class.
And so from these, we have spread our knowledge to the whole world. Everyone can see and learn and take cue from what Dr. Mandi has taught us. Because what we have learned, we have written it in our blogs, and you can visit the blogs by the addresses which are being shown and displayed on your screen. So we would also like to thank Dr. Mandi for the great initiative he took and whatever he tried to make us learn and to write our blogs, which were really great.
Yes, I surely agree. And what he made us learn through this wonderful method of teaching, we'll remember throughout our life. Thank you.